What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're looking at really my top 10 players for the second round. Yeah, we did it first round. We looked at prospects there. Now we're going to be looking at second round prospects before we start doing our mock drafts. So let's get it started. Yes, that is exactly how it sounds. We are going to be looking at second round prospects before we do our mock draft. That way it's a little bit, we got a little feel for who we're looking at, or at least who I'm looking at. Okay, now I need you guys to comment below who you're looking at for the second round. I did not include a quarterback on here, so if you're expecting that, I'm sorry, I did not include a quarterback. If you want one, then definitely leave it in the comments below. But let's get this thing started. I also came up with my own percent chance that I think they'll be there. So the percentage is how likely I think it will be that they will actually fall to our second round pick.
So you do have a plan. Yes, science!
I'm not including us trading up in the second round. I'm just saying staying where we are in the second round, how likely it is for that player, that specific player who I named, to fall to that spot. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Coming in at the bottom of the list, coming in number 10 is Kenneth Murray. Okay, now these aren't really in any kind of specific order, I guess I would say. I do put the percentages, they're always different. But Kenneth Murray is one of those linebackers that reminds me a little bit of a field general. I think he can help out. He can play inside, definitely. And I think he would help out, maybe potentially be a replacement at some point for a guy like Rashon Davis. I like Rashon Davis. He would help out for sure, though. I mean, Rashon Davis could be one of those role players. Maybe you put Rashon Davis on the outside. No, everybody wants to see him do that. So who knows? But I do like Kenneth Murray all around. He seems to have a really good play style. The one thing that I would say is this is one of those players that are going to have a really hard chance to fall to us. The linebacker group is solidly deep, but this is definitely the best one coming out with Dylan Moses deciding to go back into college football. Kenneth Murray is by far the best linebacker. Well, I guess you would say inside linebacker other than like Isaiah Simmons or something like that. That is going to be available. So there's a chance that he does go in the first round. I give us a 30% chance that he falls to our second round pick. He was in number 10. Now let's hop into number 9, and this is Jeff Gladney. Now Jeff Gladney is a cornerback that is out of TCU, and the Lions are looking at cornerback. We know they are. I know a lot of you guys looking at the cornerback, and a lot of people are talking about Okudah, but this could be another option that the Lions could possibly get in the second round. I think there's a very good chance he falls to our pick. He's been mocked to go definitely after our pick, and I think this was a guy that could make sense if we went first round with a Derek Brown, okay, with an Isaiah Simmons. If you went somewhere along those lines, maybe even offensive line, really anywhere but cornerback, this could help out because you're not spending your first round pick on a cornerback, but you still are getting a really good cornerback that's not too late in the draft that could probably serve an impact right away. Now, we do have to be a little bit cautious because sometimes that doesn't work out. We know that. Tease Tabor is the perfect example. Unfortunately, he just could never get it going with Detroit. So, there we go. We'll see if Jeff could potentially be a Lion. Not Jeff Okudah, but the other one out of TCU. Let's hop into number 8, and this is Terrell Lewis, who's the edge rusher, again, now out of Alabama. Now, Alabama puts out a lot of good prospects, put a lot of good linebackers out there, and Terrell Lewis is, no exception, right? He's a really good edge rusher, and edge rusher is one of our biggest needs going into the draft. We know everybody, all the Lions fans are looking at edge rushers, and there's so many guys out there, it's crazy. You can go first round, everybody's looking at Chase Young, we all know about that. There's second round players, Terrell Lewis is one of those guys. There's other ones that I have on this list, but Lewis is a solid edge rusher that I would say we have about a 45% chance. Edge rushers are what every team wants to have. Everybody wants to have pass rushers, and they're going to fly off the board. So it's a good thing that there's a pretty good amount of them, but they're going to fly off the board. So I wouldn't be even super confident that he falls to our pick. You could see a lot of these guys surprise you and go first round just because everybody wants him. Literally, do a mock draft. Everybody has the need to get an edge rusher because everybody wants one. So he comes in at number 8, and I say there's about a 45% chance he falls to our spot. Again, these are not like, scientific. These are just kind of how I feel. All right, let's hop into number 7. Austin Jackson, the offensive lineman out of USC. To me, offensive lineman is a very underrated positional group for the Lions upcoming in this draft, especially if you don't do a lot in free agency. Now, obviously, free agency changes a lot of this. This is why we're looking at multiple options because we don't know what they're going to do in free agency yet. But not knowing, I know that offensive lineman is going to be a very big part of this offseason, and it must be. The trenches out is the best way to look at things, whether it's D-line or O-line, and I think for the Lions' case, O-line, again, is still important. Yes, their offensive line was better this year. It wasn't terrible, but I definitely need some help. You may lose Graham Glasgow. I would say you likely are going to lose Graham Glasgow. Hopefully we can get him back. I don't know. We don't know about Rick Wagner's future as a Lion. Taylor Decker's definitely been questionable throughout his career. Our guard spot is really questionable without Glasgow, depending on what happens there. So I think you can't go wrong getting an offensive line. And again, the guy that could possibly come in and serve an impact. Bo Benshaw wants to be that guy, but he's just not there yet. This is a guy that could be ready right away. Austin Jackson, again, in another big need, lineman, those guys fly off the board too. So he comes in at number 7. Now let's hop into number 6. And this is Josh Jones, the offensive tackle out of Houston. There you go. There you go, y'all. Another offensive tackle. Now, Josh Jones, I'm looking at offensive tackle here for really Rick Wagner's replacement or possibly possibly Taylor Deckers if you wanted to trade him. I don't know if I would risk all that knowing that you have to win next season. I don't know if I go that far, but maybe. But at least for the fact that this could be your upcoming tackle, and that's something that's definitely important. You have to look a little bit into the future. And not only that, he could probably move around a little bit. He'd be depth because we will have injuries on the O-line. Rick Wagner's definitely going to get hurt. I can almost guarantee you that. So it would be nice to have an option back there. And it's not like one of those guys that are going to sit all year. He's going to get playing time, okay? Just maybe not like an actual starter playing time. We know this year we rotated guards pretty much the whole season, so you never know. Now, let's get into number 5 where I have Rashon Davis. Rashon Davis, heck of a player. Defensive lineman out of Alabama, can play defensive tackle. I really like this player in the second round. This is one of those guys that I'm very interested in. Oh, and the last guy did, Josh Jones, I gave him a 65% chance to be where we are. Now, Rashon Davis, on the other hand, not as high as a chance, because he's a really good player. And defensive tackle, in my eyes, is one of the biggest needs, okay? Trenches out. Defensive tackle, offensive line are two of the biggest needs coming into this draft. And right here, defensive line, you can help it out with Rashon Davis. If you don't want to go first round, if you don't want to go first round and get Derek Brown, if you can't get a Chase Young, I mean, Chase Young is more of an edge. But if you can't get a tackle first round, or maybe not a big name in free agency, this is where you can get a cheaper contract, a guy in the second round. You can still have your first round pick, and possibly Rashon Davis could fall to you. Now, this is a guy you probably may have to trade up to in the second round. I'm only giving us a 40% chance that somehow he falls to us. I hope he does. I've seen mocks where he does. I've seen mocks where he goes first round. We'll see. Again, it's all about the trenches, y'all. People want trenches. You can find running backs way down the draft, wide receivers way down the draft, but trenches go quick, and that is why you have to take him early to have those impact players. He comes in at number 5. Now, let's hop into number 4. I might have said number 4 before. He comes in number 5. Now, hopping into number 4, we have Curtis Weaver, and everybody's hyped about Curtis Weaver. I have no problem with that. Now, actually, what I did here is I combined 4 and 3, Curtis Weaver and Julian Okudah, and I gave the odds based on one of them being available, because honestly, I'm torn. I'd be down with either of them, okay? 60% chance in my eyes that one of them are available, maybe even higher. Okudah, related to Romeo Okudah, which would be kind of cool on its own. Very good edge rusher. They play very similar. Curtis Weaver, heck of a player. I don't know how many moves he has after watching film on him, but I do know that he is explosive off the jump. And again, you're not getting a first-round talent, but you are still getting a lot of talent. You're getting edge rusher help. You can't go wrong with any pass rushers, and I don't think you can go wrong with either of these players. I know a lot of people like Curtis Weaver, so there you go. He comes in at number 4 and 3. He comes in number 4 and 3. Whatever. Next up, coming in at number 2 is... Okay, this is a heck of a player, but so is number 1. This is J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is a running back out of Ohio State. I hate Ohio State, but Dobbins is that dude, and I'd be down with Dobbins, okay? Dobbins is very talented. He can do it all. He looks, you look at him and be like, oh, yeah, he's a speed rusher, but this dude's powerful as heck. Like, he runs hard. I don't think he's as NFL ready as the next guy, but it's a running back, okay? Running backs usually don't take too long. Ohio State knows how to put out running backs. I don't like them, but they know how to put out running backs, okay? Elliott's a great example. So in this case, Dobbins, you're getting speed. You're hopefully getting reliability. This could be that number 1 running back that you're looking for. He can catch the ball. I mean, what can he not do? He can block. He's aggressive. I like it. But so is number 1, and that is Jonathan Taylor. Now, I gave J.K. Dobbins a 70% chance to be there. Yes, maybe thinking a little high. I think he will, and I think a reason he'll fall a little bit is because of Jonathan Taylor. He'll go before him. Will he fall to us? I don't know. I only gave Jonathan Taylor about 25 to 30% chance that somehow we can pick him up in the second round. Taylor, to me, is the most polished running back, the best running back in college football. He does it all. I mean, you're literally looking at a player that's... He does it all. He can block, he can run, he can catch. I mean, he runs hard. He played against talent. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, don't get me wrong, he's a beast, and I'd be so happy with either of these guys. I would take Jonathan Taylor by this much over J.K. Dobbins, but honestly, I don't think we can go wrong here. And there you go. Those are my top 10 prospects that we should be looking at in the second round. If you guys have any more you want to add, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.